Kumarswami College, Ausa, District Latur, State Maharashtra, India, heartily welcomes all honorable dignitaries and participants here at the virtual platform for the online international e-conference. The topic of today's international e-conference is the LGBTQ World Made Easy. The college, Shri Kumarswami College, Ausa, is affiliated to Swami Ramananda Tirth Marathwada University, Nanded. The college runs number of innovative activities for students, researchers, teachers, intellectuals, academicians, and knowledge seekers. The activities are going on, and it is due to Honorable Principal Dr. M. Ambedkar Sir and his strong academic leadership. In the beginning of this international e-conference, I welcome you, sir, as the chairperson of this international e-conference. Today, I feel immense pleasure to welcome Honorable Dignitary and Keynote Speaker, Maria Elena PAMIES Ma'am from Salou, Spain. On behalf of the organizing committee and Shri Kumarswami College, Ausa, I heartily welcome you, ma'am, as the keynote speaker. Before the actual keynote speech, I would like to invite Honorable Principal Dr. M. Ambedkar Sir for his opening words. Please, sir, welcome. Welcome. Thank you, sir. And now we would like to be enlightened on the topic LGBTQ World Made Easy. So without wasting time, I would like to invite today's chief guest and keynote speaker for her presentation. Please, ma'am, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's an honor for me to be here with all of you. And don't worry if you don't understand all this LGBTQ. That was me 4 years ago, and that's why I am here today with you. Let me share my presentation, which is here ready, so that will be easier to understand all this world. Let me talk a little bit about me. I'm a confidence coach for cross-dressers, and I speak in every opportunity I have about the LGBTQ community because I am a mother of a transgender child. My daughter came out to me in 2020, and then I realized that I didn't know anything about this community. The only things I knew were completely wrong. So I started with a very open mind to know everything about this. For me, it was a bit confusing, all these different terms, all these different words, all these different flags, and these different colors. And what saved me my life at this time was finding this genderbread person. By the way, all this presentation, all these images I'm using here are copyright free. And if you want, at the end, I will give you a code to download this presentation if you want to use it, because I understand that this is a lot of information for just 25 or 30 minutes. So can you please confirm that you see my presentations?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. So for me, this picture was great to understand the different concepts that sometimes we mix. And I will go step by step with all of these ones. So let's start with the biological sex. When we talk about sex, we talk about physicality, what kind of chromosomes we have, what kind of genitals we have. And according to these characteristics, we are identified as female or male. And it is important to know that there are also intersex people. And this is the first of these LGBTQ infinite words, which is intersexual. It is, they are considered around 100% of the population, between 1%, excuse me, 1% of the population, between 1 and 2% of the population, depending on the studies, that are intersex. It means that they have characteristics from a female and also from a male. They can be a combination of two. It doesn't mean 50%. So maybe chromosomes, male chromosomes and female physicality. So it's the people that have a part of both. And this is something that most of the people don't know. I was not aware of that, because most of the intersexual individuals at birth, we assign them one sex or another, because it's difficult in our world to consider that there is a person in between. In some cultures, they are accepted as the same level as we accept male or female, but not in all, not in the, let's say, in the general world. So this is, let's say, the part when we talk about physicality. Then identity. At some stage in the history, we were not, let's say, happy with the classification of male and female, and we made up this different concept that is gender. And when we talk about gender, we are talking about women and men. And in our mind, when we talk about women or men, it is much more than just a body. It is much more than just the physicality we have. And what is identity? Is what do we think about ourselves? Is how in our head we think about ourselves, how we feel about ourselves. This is not about in relationship with anyone else. This is, who do you think I am? Who deeply inside of me I feel that I am? And here we have, yes, we have women, we have men, and we also have these two different concepts that we use here. Transgender is the person who does not identify themselves with, let's say, the label they were assigned at birth. By default, a female is considered a woman and a male is considered a man. And the people who does not identify themselves with this classification, they are considered transgender. And transgender can be, let's say, a male. This is very basic. There are a lot of nuances and details, but just as a general concept, if a person is born male but doesn't consider themselves as man, it can be considered, for example, woman. Then we are talking about transgender woman. There are also people that doesn't accept this binary world, this black or white, this male, female, this woman, this man, woman. And there are people that consider themselves non-binary. My daughter, it considers herself as a non-binary person, which means she wants to use the pronoun she, but she does not want to be labeled as woman or man, just a person. And they are, yes, non-binary people or gender non-conforming people is the same. So this is the T in LGBTQ, T stands for transgender. And queer was at the beginning a kind of a bad word to talk about all that was different inside this world. And now the community used the word queer as a way of saying, yes, I'm different. I am different, and that's okay. So it was, let's say, a bad word. Now for some people inside the LGBT community is synonym to belonging to the community. If I go too fast, please stop me, because I really got excited about that, and that's why I want to share. Okay, thank you. So the next concept is sexual orientation. And this is about who we feel physically or spiritually or romantically attracted to. So this is, identity was me with myself. When we talk about sexual orientation, is me in relationship with another person, right? And here we have the concepts of heterosexual. If I feel attracted to a person that belongs to a different gender, if I am a woman and I feel attracted to men, then I am considered heterosexual. If not, we have all these different letters here. The L stands for lesbian. Lesbian is the word for, let's say, let's make it easy, who love women. Gay is, let's say, the masculine side of that. Men who love men. Bisexual means a person who loves even women or men. And it doesn't mean 50%. It can be all different ranges. So, for example, a person can say, I feel attracted to men, or I prefer men, but I also can be attracted to women. But I prefer men. This is also valid, let's say. Let me go to another concept that is not in this LGBTQ. This is why there is a plus here, because we can keep going and going and going with different words. The word pansexual, pan means everything. And when we talk about pansexual, here we also talk about transgender people. I told you that bisexual means that this person feels attracted to women or men. If I change the word, instead of bisexual, I use pansexual, it means transgender are also included. Because again, if I talk about bisexual, we are in a binary world. And really, gender is a concept that we made up at some point, and it's not so clear. It's like black and white. There are thousands of grays in between, and with gender is exactly the same. Another letter that we have in this LGBTQ here is A. A stands for asexual, and people who consider themselves asexual means that they don't feel any kind of attraction, any kind of, let's say, sexual or romantic attraction to anyone. So it's like, this is something that doesn't interest me, let's say that. Mm-hmm. And finally, we have the last concept that is here, which is gender expression. When we talk about gender expression, we talk about how we show up to the world, how we dress, how we behave, how we talk, how we interact with one another. And here we can be considered as feminine, as masculine, or androgynous. Androgynous means that is not clear, is not defined. If you see a person and you don't know if that person is a man or is a woman, is because you cannot identify clear this distinction when you see that person. It means that it is androgynous, there is a doubt, and this also exists. And they are not included in this LGBTQ, all these letters that we saw. But there is this concept of cross-dressers, which means people who love to dress with clothes that are considered that belong to the other gender. Let's say men who love to wear women's clothes, or the other way around. Usually there are, the vast majority are men who consider themselves men and not transgender, but they love to wear women's clothes. And this also exists. So this is for me the most important concept of all, is that all combinations are possible. All that we saw here, and again, you will be able to download this presentation at the end, all these combinations are possible. It can be a person born a male that considers himself a man loving another man, or loving a woman, or loving a transgender person. You can use any combination possible. You can find a transgender woman loving men, a transgender woman loving woman. So you can find, let's say, unlimited possibilities to combine everything. And why it is important for us to know all these concepts. You can think, okay, but I don't know anyone in my community that belongs to this LGBTQ group. And the reality is that we don't know. We don't know. People may be out in some specific spaces or groups, and maybe in others, which means maybe this person is feeling something inside that they don't know how to express or who to talk to. And we never know. We never know. As that was me as a mother. I didn't know that I have a transgender child at home. So I feel that we have to be very careful with that. And the more information we have, the better. What can we do if someone comes out to us, especially when we talk about transgender people? Then what I recommend you not to do. Don't start asking thousands of questions, or don't start talking. I always knew that. I know that you were different. I always knew that something was happening with you. Maybe this person does know how to talk about that. Maybe there are a lot of questions inside of their mind and they don't know what to do. So also be careful with that information. Don't start talking to everyone about your new transgender friend or about your neighbor that you just discovered that is gay. We don't have the right to share this information with the world without the permission of the person. I share that I am a mother of a transgender child, first because my child is now not a baby, and also because I have her permission to do that. Also, don't start asking really personal questions that you don't need to know. Some people ask me, okay, and your daughter went to hormones, went to surgery. I understand that this is curiosity, but also if we really think about that, these questions belong to the most intimate and private aspect of my daughter. If you are asking me if she went to surgery, you are asking me about what kind of genitalia my daughter has. This is really private. And sometimes we are not aware of that. So this is important. That's why I'm talking, because it is important to know what you can really do. First, say thank you to that person. Because if that person is talking to you, is first of all, because this person trusts you. So express your gratitude. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for trusting me at that level. And then ask the questions that matter. What do you want me to do with this information? What do you need from me? How can I help? How can I support? Maybe this person only wants to share that with you because it's something that the person needs to share with someone, and you are the only one who trusts. maybe they need some help. Let's say, okay, help me talk to my family, help me talk to my friends. I don't know what to do. I feel lonely. I feel scared. That was my daughter. My daughter was really scared because you cannot imagine the percentage of teenagers, transgender teenagers, that attempt suicide. More than 45%. And some of them succeeded, if I can use the word success for that. So really, if someone comes out to you, be really grateful and be open, because being transgender, and I especially talk about transgender because I feel they are really vulnerable. This is not a choice. This is not something, this is not a fashion. This is not something that now is cool. You feel that deep inside of you. Is your identity, is your true essence. And when a person is sharing with you their true essence, the best you can do is to be there for that person. And especially as leaders, as teachers, I know that most of you are teachers. So what is really helpful is ask them how they want to be treated. What pronouns do you want me to use with you? Do you want to identify as he, as she, as they? They is the word, the pronoun we have in English to identify, let's say, non-binary people, or people who just don't want to identify themselves as he or she. And what's the name you want to be called by? Sometimes officially, we have to use a certain name, but we feel a different name. And for us, that could be something, let's say, we can consider that funny, maybe, or difficult, because at the beginning, for me, it was difficult to change the name of my daughter. She decided to use a feminine name, and I was used to talk to her with a masculine name. And I can say, okay, but for me it's difficult. And for me, it might be difficult at the beginning, but for the other person, for that person, it could be the world. It's like, okay, I can be myself. Only by changing the name. It's a way for us to express our support to that person. And I have, yes, the last slide I have for you. This is a great quote from Mother Teresa, and is the one that gives me a lot of relief when I start knowing more and more and more about this community. Really, if you are busy judging people, you don't have time to love them, because this is all about love. I mean, the people who belong to this community, even if we are talking about bisexual people or gay, lesbian, transgender, intersex, the only thing they want is to be free to be themselves, is to be accepted for who they are. It's like, I remember my daughter telling me, Mama, she was 16 at that time when she came out to me. She was telling me, Mama, I tried to be the perfect sister, the perfect friend, the perfect student, the perfect singer, the perfect daughter, the perfect everything. in order to be accepted. I just want to be accepted the way I am. And I said, no, stop. Don't put so much pressure on you. You don't need to be perfect at all to be accepted. You deserve to be accepted without the need of being perfect. And at that moment, I understood, okay, transgender people, all that they want is the same that I want and the same that I imagine that you all want. Just to be accepted for who we are deep inside of us. And this is the last slide I have for you. In this one, if you can take a screenshot or use your phone to scan this QR code, you will be able to access to all these slides and come back to all that I give you in 30 minutes. Great. Let me stop sharing so that I can see all of you. And thank you so much for attending. If you have, I don't know if we have time for questions. I have time, but I don't know if you have time. Monica, great to see you here, my friend.
Hi, my love. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing very important information on the topic, the LGBTQ world made easy. And you have talked in detail about all and also for their rights as a human being.
Yes.
And now, after this very wonderful keynote speech on the topic, which is very necessary for the rights of all genders, maybe men, women, transgenders, or all which you have described. Now, I would like to invite questions from participants and delegates on the topic or their opinions and observations on the topic. Please. Jaivir Singh, please.
जी नमस्ते मैडम, सभी को नमस्कार। मैडम मेरा एक सवाल है कि जितनी भी ये जो आपने बताया इसको हम प्रकृति से जोड़कर देखते हैं, क्या ये प्रकृति से जोड़ना उचित है?
Ma'am, he has asked that now we are accepting all these different sexes or different kinds of people which you have entitled now. But is this natural to accept? This is the question.
It is natural to accept. When we talk about gender, as I told you before, gender is something that we made up at some stage in history. Before that call, I was listening to some information about the Bugis community in Indonesia. They have 3 sexes. For them, the normal, what we call normal, for them the normal is male, female, and intersex. Is their normal. And also they have 5 genders. Male man, a male woman, genderless, which means non-binary, no man, no woman. They have female woman and female men. So really it is difficult to say what is normal, what is not. If you mean, normal is what we consider majority. It was a question for me also. I have more questions than answers. when we talk about the LGBTQ community, especially when we talk about gender. One of the questions that I asked myself is that I am a woman because I really feel that I am a woman, or maybe because I never asked myself that question before. Because it's difficult for me really to explain what does it mean to be a woman. What it means to be a woman for me in Spain, in Europe, maybe not the same idea you have in India, maybe it's not the same one in Australia or in the US. So I really don't have an answer for that question. I really cannot define what normal means. What is real is that these people exist. And maybe the solution is to be open to new possibilities, to new ways to identify people, to new ways to talk about people.
Thank you, ma'am, for your answer. What is normal or what is abnormal? But it is important to understand what is real, to give their rights for which they are fighting or for which they are asking. Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would like to call Dr. Swanand Shukla, sir, for his opinion. Please, sir.
Hello, good evening, Dr. Bedkar, sir, Principal, sir, Prakash, sir, the organizing committee, and good evening, ma'am. Wonderful presentation you have done, and really appreciate because this is a kind of awareness what people should get, and they should get sensitized about the issues of definitely we should call everyone is in one tribe, human being. We are not away from that border of human being. So they carry the same side, they carry the physics, and they carry their own physical problems also. So we have to understand their psychology more, I think. So that is one thing. But my question is, during the childhood, the child doesn't know much about sex, whether he's having. But once they enter into pubertal age, then they realize their what kind of sex they belongs to. Otherwise, in a school, people feel everyone is alike. But then you'll find after certain years, the people recognize that I'm male, I'm a female, and this kind of features are there. So can we identify some of the features of what we are discussing today, transgender or whatever? So can we identify any signs and symptoms just before pubertal age?
That's a great question. Thank you for that. The first news I have about transgender people were about 3 or 4 year old child. So it was really difficult for me to understand, okay, at this early age, they already know deep inside of them that they don't belong to the gender assigned. And the more I connect with these people, the more I know about them. There is no one unique answer. I know transgender people that at a very early age, let's say 3, 4, 5 years old, they have very clear that, okay, I have a male body, but I'm not a boy, I'm a girl. And it's very clear for me, I'm a girl. Sometimes, like my daughter, sometimes they discover that during puberty. And I have some friends that are now around 45, 50 years old that are still asking themselves those questions. Do I really belong here or not? Is that something wrong with me, or what's happening? I don't feel comfortable, but I don't know if... So it depends. For some people, it's really very clear at a very early age. For some of them, no. Let's say every person is different. And also, I feel the environment is important. If you don't have any role model, you don't know, you don't have no idea what's happening with you. If you are crazy, if something is wrong with you, if you are, let's say, God's mistake. So, and also you feel afraid to share that with another person. That's why it is important to talk about that, to know that it exists. And maybe only by sharing this, we can help someone that is asking all those questions and don't know where to go, what to do, and is afraid to ask for help. So thank you for the question.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your wonderful explanation. And yes, definitely, we could see some people are showing more feminine nature, or some people are showing more bossy and masculine nature. So that is there, that we cannot call them as a transgender, but that is also one type, what we have to identify, because some male people are behaving like a female, feminine, and some of the, female, or maybe sometimes the family members, boost them. You are my boy, and she's a girl originally, but she start wearing, some clothes like a boy, and that is also there, very much there. They carry out that same lifestyle throughout their life. So definitely, we have to be very sensitive about these issues, and we should not look into what ma'am said. Intimacy. We should be there with us. I'm having number of patients. But definitely some of them are taking care of their own family, because other children, left abroad, and only the mother, father, and this person is there. So he is taking care of everyone. So that is a wonderful thing what we can get. So definitely they are having a similar life, same life like us, and we should not, make them feel that, they are something different. So I think they are very much part of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good evening, Kumarswami ma'am. Now I would like to invite Monica ma'am, please.
Good evening. Hi, Maria Elena. I greet you from India. I'm very happy you are here. And I want to ask you something. I think it can be very, very interesting to understand what kind of transformation this provoke in you. And the moment you started this process of, first was the shock, no? Then was the understanding. Then for sure, this transformation, after you understood everything, it became a gift at the end. How you transformed as a mother in all this experience with your daughter. This would be very, very interesting to understand.
Yes, thank you, Monica. For me, my first answer, let's say my first reaction, because I feel it was a reaction, it was, okay, I love you. This doesn't change. And at the same time, it was, what am I supposed to do right now? As a mother, how can I do? How can I support my children? I have no idea what to do. It was June 2020, in the middle of the pandemic. We were all at home. So I grabbed my phone and I started calling any telephone I found with different associations, families with transgender children, official groups, unofficial groups, friends, because I was like, I don't know what to do. And I started grabbing information because there is also some important thing that I forgot to mention, is that not all transgender people follow the same process. Not all of them want to go into hormones and change the physicality. Not all of them want surgery. Not all of them follow the same steps at the same time. And all the steps are okay. You can be a transgender person and decide not to change anything in your body. So that was also completely new for me. And my daughter opened me the doors to a very different world, let's say a wider world. With it makes me really more open-minded person, and deeply connecting with the meaning of this quote I put before, that okay, this is not about judging anyone, this is about loving everybody the way they are. So how can I support all of them? And sometime after that, I became a coach. And now I'm working especially with the LGBTQ community. And I even narrow it down. I work with cross-dressers because I feel they are the most misunderstood of all of them. They are men who love women, and at the same time, they want to wear women's clothes. And this is my reality right now. And it was completely unknown for me 4 years ago. So yes, for me, it is a gift. And I'm very proud of both my children. I have another one, which is 14 years old right now. And yes, now I am open to a completely new world. And I feel it makes me, I was about to say a better person. I prefer to say a more loving person. So thank you for that question, Monica.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, madam.
I would like to invite Dr. Badiuddin sir. Do you have any question, please?
Yeah. Madam, the very fact of the matter is that when the universe was created, it was male and female. Adam and Eve was created. Now, all these genders, that is transgender, what you have mentioned in your lecture, is this 4 decades about, I think, before it has been into the picture. So could you highlight on that, how this has come into the picture, transgenders, and this what you mentioned, 5 categories. So what is the logic? How did this came into being?
I can just give you my personal opinion about that. And I feel that this idea of gender and all that, the big difference, again, between sex and gender. We are born, yes, like male or female, also having in mind that there are these intersex, they exist, this is a reality. For me, the gender, that's what, let's say, what created. This is something that we humans created, and maybe is not the most inclusive idea, let's say, the most inclusive classification. But again, this is only my opinion. I don't consider that. So for me, there is no wrong person. For me, all is, let's say, valid, all is acceptable, and all is perfect. the way it is. The fact that some people decided to go into hormones and surgery to change their body, for me, and again, this is a really personal opinion. This is not something scientific or that I have from specific studies. No, this is just my opinion. I feel that they need to change their body in order to belong. For some people, but for all of us, the need of belonging is important. And some transgender people, I imagine, again, it's my opinion, that they need to change their physicality in order to feel that they belong to somewhere. Because this in between, these people who consider themselves non-binary, the fact that they don't belong to one label or the other, one box or another, is difficult. In Spain, for example, we have some laws that protect transgender people, but non-binary people are not included. Officially, my daughter doesn't exist. Legally, we don't accept people that are not male, not female. I mean, no woman, no man. We don't accept that legally. So we can talk about that for hours and hours. And again, for me, nothing is wrong. It's just the way it is. And for me, all is okay. But again, it's my opinion. So thank you for that. Thank you for that question.
Thank you, Dr. Badiuddin sir and ma'am. Now I would like to invite Devidas Kendre sir, please.
Good evening to all. Thank you, Mr. M.M. Bedkar sir, Prashant sir, and organizing committee. Very excellent presentation. Wonderful and interesting session. Very useful information. Thank you, Elena ma'am. Once again, thanks to Principal Dr. M.M. Bedkar sir and Prashant sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Datta sir, do you have any question, please? Datta sir. Dattatray. I think he might have raised his hand accidentally.
Hello.
Now, sir, do you want to speak something, Dr. Swanand Shukla sir?
No, sir. Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay. Now, after this wonderful keynote speech and very useful question-answer session, now it is time for all of us to listen concluding words of the chairperson and chief organizer of this international conference, Honorable Principal Dr. M.M. Bedkar sir. Please, sir.
Can I take a minute? Yes, sir. Good evening, madam, and good evening, Bedkar sir. Madam, I have one very simple question. That normally the male and female, they are considered as a normal. Male contains 46 chromosomes, which are divided into 23 pairs, out of which 45 chromosomes they are X chromosomes and 46 chromosome is Y chromosome. Whereas this composition in females is 46 chromosome is also X chromosome. Mm-hmm. And I want to know that whether these lesbian or transgenders, they are varying in their genetical composition at the level of chromosomes. Suppose we are talking about the lesbian, that these individuals vary from the normal female genetical composition.
Thank you for that question. I understand the question, but I don't have the answer. I don't have enough information to answer that question. I have no idea if lesbian women or gay men have different chromosomes that other women or other men. I'm sorry, I cannot answer that.
Madam, will you explain in brief regarding the concept of superwoman?
Superwoman?
Yes, madam. Of which Martin and Navratula is considered as a classical example of the concept superwoman. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please. No, sir. That is my genuine question, sir. I don't know the queries. I don't know answers of these questions. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Genuinely, I am not. If somebody in the group, if he or she knows, please try to explain, so that it will add to our knowledge. Yes, please.
Hello. Oh, sir, excuse me. Can I speak? Dr. Bedkar, sir? Yeah. I think, what sir is talking about, that is feminine and, that mannish, this behaviors. So always it is not so that the chromosome number will get altered and then only the things you will find out. But that in the female, you'll find a mannish behavior or, very much a bossy behavior. You can find it out, like what you are example quoting. And same thing with the male also. The feminine nature you can identify very easily. His actions are like that. So I think that is a very, very natural phenomena, but nothing to do with what we can say chromosomes. And what someone was asking about lesbian and other things, I think that the answer for that also, it is a psychology of the person is more playing a role rather than the chromosomes. So genetics are not playing role, but you'll find that the psychology, the behavior is also one very important component we have to listen. So ma'am was talking about that she knows that she, but by the physics she is a he, but she knows what she is. So that naturally we have to understand that psychology and very correctly, scientifically placed in front of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your addition, valuable addition. And now I would like to invite Dr. Bedkar, sir, for his concluding remarks. Please, sir.
अब मुझे बोलने का था थोड़ा. Sir, this is about the transgender, the third person, gay, whatever it may be. I don't know what is the concept. So my question is, the several people we are supposed to see here and there in this form. So can government, means the government, our government and the government of other or on the international level do something for they should be work in the course of economic development. It means providing the proper job, education like this. So many people wandering here and there. Suppose they are begging, they are claiming the money from the peoples. So in the Mughal emperor, that king has provided the best job. Like this policy should be there on the international level, supposed to. मुझे मला नेहमी असं.
So I'm sorry, you would maybe explain to Maria Elena what you mean about this, because in India, it's true, there is a lot of communities, and I don't know why, they are beggars on the streets. And
Yes. This is the fact.
Oi, Monica, we lost you.
So there should be policy to provide the job opportunity according to their supposed to the wish, their talent, their natural talent. They're supposed to education and so on. The upper level educated person getting the job, no problem. But what about the illiterate person belonging to such category? So they can do. They have the power to work. So they should be come into the mainstream. Their labor should be converted into the constructive or productive labor force, because labor is the perishable factor. Okay, so it is wasting. So why not we the people supposed to think about how they will be converted into the workforce? What is the idea about this, the Elena madam?
Yes, thank you so much for
They
that.
can become the cook, best serviceman, like this cook, like many types of works.
Thank you. One of the reasons for my commitment in talking about that, every time I can, as in as many stages as I can, is because I feel that all the rejection that this community receive is lack of information. If we really understand that this is about something really personal, that it does not affect of the way they work. In fact, it's the opposite. I was talking to a transgender person that considers themselves, they want to be treated with the pronoun they. They consider themselves non-binary, and you can see their aspect is a male with beard, and really a body is really clearly what we call a male, using makeup and feminine clothes and dressing in pink. And they told me, I am more productive when I can be myself at work. So it's not that my work is at the same level. It is better when I can express myself the way I am. I am not the same employee. I am better employee, more productive employee. I do my job better and quicker with more attention because I feel free to be myself. So yes, it is really important to talk about that, to support all this community, to be open to help them, because really there is a lot of talent and potential and creativity within these people. And I really feel that the world needs this talent, this creativity, this spontaneity, this gift, everything. The same way as the world deserves each and every one of us to be the best version of ourselves, all of us. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Elena
Just
madam.
that detail, sir. I think in our every form, governmental form, we are having male, female, and others. The category has been specially mentioned. So in educational system, in working stations, everywhere they are accepted, and they are, the government is accepting them. So we have to accept them. Yes, definitely there is a sorry state that they form a kind of a tribe, and they live another life. That should not happen. That culture becomes a different thing. So I think there should be a part and parcel, and there should be no demarcation line between them and us. So then only I think we can give them a right. This is also a question of a human right. So I think that is how we can work out with these things. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sanam Shukla sir, Dr. Badruddin Ahmed sir, Monica madam, Dattatreya sir, and Devidas Kendre sir, all those who have actually participated in the presentation discussion. Uh, Thank you, Elena madam. You have discussed your new problem to us, but not actually new for us, because before that we have also organized a few webinars. Those you are the parent, but those who are self transgender, they have also expressed here on this dais what are their problems, what they are facing, how the community is not behaving well to us. As you have said that there are 40% of the transgender community try to suicide because of the not supporting of the first of all from home they are not supported. Once they identified that they are transgender, then the parents try to escape from their home. It's the tragedy, really, because first of all we have to support, first of all family have to support, then when they come to society. So government, as Dr. Swanan Shukla sir said, that government is also trying to have a well establishment of them. So first of all society should accept them, and first the home persons, family persons have accept them. They have not did their change in physical behavior not by their choice, but it's the natural one. Once they are identified as they are not the male, not the female, then they get frustrated. At that time society, family member, they have to support. And basically our leadership person and those who are discussing that they are beggars. Why they are beggars? Because they are escaped from the home. They have no choice without begging to have their daily life. So at that point only society should support them to have your job, to have their care. So at that time they don't choose the type of the work they have begging. But in India is the thing, it may be different from other country, because every thing is are different in different country. But as a mother you made us more emotional, that and you also become a studious person of that area because of that your daughter. Before that you don't know the problems of the transgender or all this community, but after that you get studied to that, and you also doing work in that field. And the parents which like you come together and they do something for the society, that those who are the parents of this transgender children, they should support. They should not be diverted to other ways, and they should not be discriminated. They have their own identity, they have their own potential, they should be accepted. They are also sufficient, efficient to work with efficiency as like others. And so that we have to give perfect respect to them, perfect credibility to that work. They may be from educators, they may be artists, they may be singer, they may be dancer, they can do everything as us. They are having the same potential, but we have to support morally to them. And first of all we have to remove the idea from their mind that they are not men or women, but they are human kinds. They have equal opportunity, they have equal potential to work with us. So first of all we accept this, and we appreciate your work that you are doing more work in that. As a parent you can do these things in your life, so that they will be respected, they will be get job, they will be accepted by the society. And this is a gradual process, but lastly government should accept that this community is more productive, more effective, and more useful to country also. So that should happen in future. And thank you for your presentation here, and you have given more idea insights on this topic to us. And we wish all the best for your future plans. And if you want to add in future also few new topics here, you are always welcome. Thank you, Monica madam, too.
Thank
You
you.
got friend and she recommended you, I think, for this dice. Thank you. Thank you to all.
Thank you so much.
As the organizing committee member, I also thank Honorable Principal Dr. M. Bedkar sir for organizing webinars and international conferences on different topics, variety of topics, which are enriching our knowledge and also expanding our vision to look at the world So thank you, sir, on behalf of the organizing committee, delegates, and those who have got benefit of this webinar series and international conferences. Thank you, sir. I also thank all the for their active participation, for their questions, for their observations, and for their support for the success of webinar series and webinars and international conferences. At the end, I request all the participants, please fill feedback link for certificates. And with the kind permission of Chairperson, Honorable Principal Dr. M. Ambedkar, sir, I declare here that today's international e-conference is over. Thanks to all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam. And thank you to Javir Singh, sir, also, who asked his good evening. But still, you have stayed here for your precious time. Thank you. We will keep this for 5 minutes to fill the feedback link. The information or notice of the feedback is not for you. Your certificate will be issued personally to you. It was the common notice to participants to issue their certificate. So if you want to share that your screen means that to scan that picture again, you can keep sharing to this for 5 minutes. They will scan that picture. Okay.
I'm not sure if I understand you correctly. Do you mean my